Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIAL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Welcome to coverage of WPIAL basketball 2017-2018 here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. High school basketball at tribhssn.triblive.com is sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by AstroTurf, by Carlow University, proud sponsor of the 2018 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs, and by Trib Total Media.
Fox Chapel High School. It is coverage of high school basketball on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Doubleheader action tonight. Penn Hills and Fox Chapel, the theme here at Fox Chapel. The girls will get things started with a 6A Section 2 matchup between the Fox Chapel Foxes, the Penn Hills Indians. Each team coming into tonight's game with identical records, 2-3 in the non-conference, the non-section record, 0-1 as far as section play. Alongside Josh Rowntree, I'm Bob Orkwis on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Chelsea Rowntree is also here, running the controls from behind the camera. Glad you're aboard live or archived to our video stream broadcast of these two schools way early. It's only December 22nd. Doesn't feel like it outside. Not a complaint, mind you. But 3 teams in the section, Josh, are at 1-0. Latrobe, Hempfield, and Norwin. Penn Trafford, along with these two schools, are 0-1. Always a good time to try to get your first win in section play.
It is, and one thing that I've kind of talked about in these first few section games, outdoing games, is, these matchups count just the same as the ones in late January and early February. So, there's no difference, particularly when you're talking about a section race that's going to be pretty tight, as this one normally is. I mean, some good teams in this section. Norwin's always been solid. You know that they're going to have a decent team. But you talk about Latrobe and Hempfield, Penn Trafford. I mean, there are some really top-notch teams in this section to go with these Fox Chapel and Penn Hills squads that we're going to see tonight. So, early season games, they're just as important. And tonight, for Penn Hills, Bobby, it's going to be difficult without 2 of their top players.
Yeah, injuries a big story. And not only injuries, because everyone deals with them, but big-time injuries to 2 big-time players, Josh, for Penn Hills, Diamond J. Whittington and Tayana Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson, dislocated knee. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of structural damage, but she's going to be out for a while. Suffered that in their last game, the 13-point loss to Norwin. Had 18 of their 38 points before the injury. And on the other, also for Penn Hills, I should say, Diamond J. Whittington, you mentioned DJ, torn ACL. She is done for the year. So those were going to be their 2 top returning players from last year's team. Of course, they lost a lot from last year. Desiree Oliver, who went to Temple the year before that as well. They lost a terrific player to Cleveland State and Jade Eli. So really this is a situation where Penn Hills, they've had a pretty good team these last few years, but they're starting to lose a lot of talent, and it's going to be up to their head coach, Robert Cash, to try to figure it out here tonight at Fox Chapel.
Robert Cash in his second year, leading the Penn Hills Indians on the other side. Jen O'Shea, she's in her 4th year as the head coach of the Fox Chapel Foxes. We're going to take a quick break, back with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off from Fox Chapel. Actually, let's just keep it here for a second. We can do that, reverse that, as we can show you on camera. We'll have the playing of the national anthem from Fox Chapel High School. Nice with the video stream to show off to our right the big flag on the scoreboard. And as you'll see during the broadcast, the huge artwork here at Fox Chapel's gym with the big fox breaking through the wall to our right, a place where we find ourselves a lot because this is a gymnasium and a facility that hosts a lot of playoff games. The starting lineups are being introduced. We will give you the starting lineups as well for the Indians and the Foxes.
Yeah, for Penn Hills under head coach Robert Cash in his second year, they will bring out this starting five, a 5'7" junior guard, number 0, Ariana Dunson, a 5'8" freshman guard, number 4, Alyssa Sledge, a 5'9" junior guard, number 11, Adia Brisker, a 5'7" freshman guard, number 13, Jayla Golden, and a 5'10" freshman center, number 14, Delaney Carpenter. For Fox Chapel, under head coach Jen O'Shea in her 4th season, she'll start this five, a 5'3" senior guard, number 2, Claudia Guerreri. Her sister, a 5'3" freshman guard, number 11, Gabby Guerreri. A 5'8" senior guard, number 21, Sarah Shearer. A 5'9" senior forward, number 24, Christina Berdelski. And a 5'11" junior forward, number 32, Meg Friday.
For Fox Chapel, 3 seniors, a junior and a sophomore in their starting lineup. On the other side, Ariana Dunson is the lone upperclassman. She's a junior. 4 freshmen, and I'm sure that's by necessity, Josh, for Penn Hills.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the injuries are certainly going to be a factor, I would think, tonight. It's, a situation where, as we mentioned, they lost their top player from a year ago. Desiree Oliver was a tremendous player. One of the better female players I've seen in the WPIAL in quite a while. Went to Temple, so that shows the pedigree there. Now it's a matter of who steps in for. Adia Brisker last year averaged just under 5 points a game. That's maybe somebody to look at here in this one. Dunson as well. She was someone that they're expecting is Coach Cash to play a larger role. And, on the other side, you see a freshman, too, and Gabby Guerreri in there. So, there is going to be some youth served here tonight, and that'll be interesting to see how both of these teams handle it. Certainly, though, a big test, I would think, coming on the road if you're Penn Hills without your two of your top players.
I spy with my little eye Desiree Oliver in the stands.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure she has no eligibility left.
Yeah. Pull her out of the crowd, get her a uniform.
The other thing is you've had Eli and then you've had Oliver as your stars over the last several years when John Tate was head coach and now when Robert Cass was an assistant. It was up to DJ Whittington and also Tayana Robertson to step into those roles, and they're not in the lineup in the show they're going. Whittington done for the season. We mentioned Robertson. She may be back during the season, but it was their turn to step into the leadership roles, and both not in the lineup for the Indians.
Yeah, Whittington averaged just under 8 a game last year, so you combine that with the over 12 that Tayana Robinson averaged. That's 20 points from last year. You're taking out of your lineup. Probably would have expanded this year too.
We will have the opening tip-off. Fox Chapel in the home white jerseys with the red and blue trim. Penn Hills in the road red uniforms with the gold trim. Penn Hills wins the toss, and Elisa Sledge will set up the offense against the man-to-man. On the near side, it is Adia Brisker to the hoop. She's fouled at the elbow. That personal was charged against Gabby Guerreri. That'll be her first. 3 officials working tonight's game. John Palco is your referee. Mike Pruss, Alex Speck are the umpires. Right baseline inbound. Brisker dumped inside by Dunson. That's stolen away. Claudia Guerreri, returning senior leader, drives to the hoop and misses the layup. Rebound pulled down by Fox Chapel. That is Gabby Guerreri. She misses, and Penn Hills finally comes down with the defensive rebound.
A good opening stop, a turnover at one end. The offensive rebound allowed by Penn Hills, but they get the ball back.
Neither team has scored. 35 seconds in. There's a 10-footer on the way. Off the window and through. Alyssa Sledge has the first 2 points of the game for the Indians.
Now Penn Hills coming out in a full-court press here, so despite the fact they're without some top players, still wanting to create turnovers. They nearly do.
Yeah, they nearly do. It does bounce back into the forecourt, and it's picked up by Meg Friday. Friday gets it to Guerreri, who'll set up the point on the Fox logo near half court. Now dribbling to the right. Penn Hills was in a 2-2-1 full-court press, a 3-2 zone defense it looks to be, or a 1-2-2. That kind of morphs in and out. Right side jumper, Berdelski from 3 is no good in the long rebound back in her direction, but it winds up in the hands of Sledge for the Indians. Sledge into the left corner, and there's a drive and a reset. Dunson's jumper is no good. Rebound is tracked down by Berdelski for the Foxes.
Pretty good job on the boards so far by Fox Chapel.
You got to make the press. That's always the cliche.
Right.
And Penn Hills has missed a couple of shots, a turnover, and then that missed jumper. But they do have a 2-0 lead against the zone. Near side, the Foxes will think about a three. They'll fire the three. And that shot is missed by Sarah Shearer to the far side. Rebounded by Fox Chapel, and we get a pushing foul against Penn Hills.
That's going to go on Dunson, her first, and the team's as well.
Shearer leads the team. She missed that last three with 7 made threes in 5 games for Penn Hills. And there's a three. Guerreri drains it. The lefty puts the Foxes on top 3-2 for his field goal of the game for Fox Chapel.
Some distance on that, too. She stepped into that from a couple feet beyond the arc. All sorts of confidence on that take.
There's a three on the answer. The other end by Dunson is no good. Tracking down the rebound on the near corner, however, is Delaney Carpenter for Penn Hills. Entry pass, shot is up, no good by Adia Brisker. And this rebound is pulled down by Claudia Guerreri. She looks to run, gets it up the floor. Pass is deflected away from Shearer. And Fox Chapel windbound baseline left.
Great job there by Ariana Dunson, getting back defensively. Looked like Shearer was going to be able to walk in for an uncontested layup. Got back, got a hand on the ball.
Good defense at the other end. Entry pass near side. There is Shearer. She pulls up with a three. No good. Long rebound tracked down by Brudelski, the senior forward. Guerreri, that is Claudia. Have to be Claudia and Gabby at each top of the point for Fox Chapel. So to be aware of that. Also, if you're watching, and hopefully you are, that is Claudia misses a long three, rebounded by Delaney Carpenter. Claudia has 2, Gabby has 11. There's a layup missed at the other end. Rebounding the miss is Meg Friday, the miss by Dunson for Penn Hills.
A couple of open looks just missed at either end.
Entry pass inside, outside, near side, three-pointer. Up and in for Sarah Shearer. Mentioned she has 7 threes, making 8. She averages 7 points a game for the Foxes.
No fear against this zone defense by Fox Chapel, shooting the basketball from the outside. That is 4th or 5th three they've already taken in this basketball game.
That's one way to loosen up one of those zones, a 2-3 or a 3-2 or 1-2-1, however you want to paint it. You fire from the outside and you make it. And that brings it back. 6-2 Foxes. Penn Hills with the basketball in the forecourt right. There's a 12-footer on the way, far side, no good. Rebound being fought for underneath. It is Meg Friday. Friday is tied up by Carpenter, and the arrow favors Fox Chapel.
Like Friday down low, has a pretty solid frame, only a junior, but 5'11". Uses the body pretty well. They like to use her on offense, flashing to the block. You see her now working to get out of the press break, does it well.
Opposite side three for Claudia Guerreri is no good. Good backside rebound on the opposite end by Sarah Shearer. That's a three for Gabby Guerreri, no good. And another backside rebound for the Foxes. They were just dominating on the offensive glass, although they get into the backcourt and they turn it over on an over and back violation after Brudelski had tracked down her 3rd rebound for the Foxes.
Yeah, Jen O'Shea does not like that call. Thought the ball was tipped into the backcourt, but
I thought it was as well.
Disagree. Yeah, it looks like it, but they didn't see it that way.
A trap at half court, and there's a travel. Good call, Josh. Alyssa Sledge was forced into the double team by Claudia Guerreri and Christina Brudelski, and Penn Hills turns it right back over.
Sledge got away with the 3rd step, almost the 4th step, definitely the 5th step was called. She was shuffling the feet big time on that Fox logo in the middle of the court, and it was eventually called.
6-2 lead for the Foxes. 3:40 clock turns here in the first quarter at Fox Chapel High School, top of the key. Gabby Guerreri. At the top of that zone is Adia Brisker, comes to the near side. Another three from the left wing for Sarah Shearer. She's got 6 on a pair of trays, and we get a Fox Chapel foul charge against Claudia Guerreri, her 2nd, that one in the forecourt.
Well, all 9 of their points have come on 3-pointers. Claudia Guerreri with 1, and Shearer with a pair of long balls. And again, they are not afraid to shoot the basketball, as Ellie Schwartzman will check into the game, as does Claire Fenton. Schwartzman, a 5'10 freshman. They're going to put her down low, and Fenton, a 5'3 sophomore. She won't be down low at 5'3.
I mentioned Schwartzman coming off the bench. She led the Foxes, and there's a layup.
Adia Brisker.
Yep. Her first 2 of the game.
Yeah,
Penn Hills defeated Alderdice, but I was talking about Fox Chapel. They lost to West Allegheny. Ellie Schwartzman led the team in that loss with 12 points. Brisker had 27 in a win the other night over Alderdice in the last game for Penn Hills. Good defense creating the steal, getting the steal. Delaney Carpenter. Penn Hills wants to run, but backside defense with a steal at the other end. Brodowski. Fox is coming to the forecourt with Fenton. Top of the key, that is Schwartzman. Pass to the near side, Scherer at the near elbow. Opposite side, Claudia Guerreri. Good defense by Dunson. And that creates a turnover. The ball is intercepted. And here come the Indians. Little delay on a Euro step to the hoop. No good by Sledge. And underneath with a rebound is Ellie Schwartzman for the Foxes.
Two very different styles in attacking the defenses, with Fox Chapel shooting a lot of threes. Penn Hills looking to drive to the hoop.
There's another three. Scherer misses off the near side of the rim. Long rebound in transition. Here come the Indians. Good move to the hoop. Laying it up and missing it, however, is Brisker. And then a rebound is pulled out by Fox Chapel. I believe Brisker is going to get charged with her first personal foul.
See it right there. Penn Hills wanting to drive to the hoop, as that foul will be on Sarah Scherer on the rebound. Fox Chapel.
Scherer is charged for the rebounding foul. So scratch it, take it off of Brisker. It was a defensive foul on the floor afterwards by Scherer. So it'll be a right baseline inbound for the Indians. They try to work it into traffic. 3 white jerseys around Jalen Golden. And it was deflected away by Fox Chapel.
Right now, if you're Penn Hills, don't be discouraged. You're only down 5, and boy, they've had some good looks at the hoop. They've been able to drive almost at will and just haven't hit some shots. I think those are going to be there, and they can knock them down. They'll be okay.
Speaking of knocking it down, Ariana Dunson, a 3 from the near side. First tray of the game for the Indians. They have pulled within 2. Good hesitation driving on the near side, left side on the left blocks. Claire Fenton to the hoop. She draws the harm. She will shoot a pair. That personal is charged against 24, checked in Deshea Chavis for the Indians. Fenton misses the first. Grace Ritterin, Jen O'Shea told us they will go 10 deep at times, bringing 5 players, maybe 6 or 7 sometimes off the bench, as Claire Fenton, the 5'3 sophomore, splits the pair, and the Foxes lead 10-7, under 2 to go in the first quarter. Pressure by the Foxes, broken by Penn Hill. Sledge, near side to Chavis. Chavis misses a 3, rebounded by Claire Fenton for the Foxes. She brings it up the floor. Claudia Guerreri in front of the Penn Hills bench, using her hand to create space against Dunson. And the drive by Jess Paper on the left baseline. Misses a jumper. Rebounded by Sledge, her 3rd rebound of the first quarter. Brisker sets the offense, directs traffic between the rings. Gets the clear out. Good pass. That is Chavis. And Chavis misses the jumper. Would have counted anyway. Yeah. Offensive foul before the pass charged against Adia Brisker.
Even still, though, Penn Hills, that drive and kick game is there, and they're doing it a lot with Sledge. We've seen Brisker do it as well. I like the way that Sledge controls the basketball. She's a great take on the dribble drive. It's blown right by defenders on a number of occasions so far. They can generate some offense out of that, whether she takes it or dishes it off like we saw nearly there.
Alyssa Sledge, by the way, 5'8 freshman, handling the ball for Penn Hills. And there's a good steal by the Indians, and they look to go coast-to-coast driving. Layup up and in for Dunson, a beauty. She's got 5, and Fox Chapel takes a timeout.
Jen O'Shea not happy with what her team's doing as far as turnovers right now. They've turned it over their last couple of possessions, and that time it leads to a run. That's a fantastic finish by Dunson as well. The little scoop layup, 5 points for her, and Jen O'Shea wanting a break here for her team. And she's done a nice job, Coach O'Shea, in her now 4th season. Has made 1 playoff appearance, and obviously basketball runs in the family. Her husband is an assistant coach, Terry. He's on the staff. But she was a terrific player at Carleton, 4-time all-section player, then was all-conference at Washington and Jefferson. And her husband, Terry, PA Player of the Year out of Carleton in 1992. So some good chemistry there between the husband and wife on the bench.
That's the best player in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but her dad was a terrific coach at Bishop Canevin for a long time, and Tim Joyce.
Also, Caitlin DePasquale has come back to, she's a Fox Chapel grad. She was a 4-year letter winner at Washington Jefferson. So that staff is stacked with talent. Alicia Johnson is the assistant coach for Penn Hills. Good find underneath.
And that's going to be 2 on Dunson.
Yeah, Grace Ritter missed that, but she was hacked by Dunson. That'll be her second. Grace Ritter, the 5'8 junior, will shoot 2, foul line left. That's a good find on the transition for Fox Chapel after the timeout. Always mystifies me when a team takes a timeout and then comes out of the TO clueless. Not the case there for the Foxes.
Yeah.
Dunson goes to the bench with those 2 personals, by the way.
And they took advantage. Penn Hills player fell down in the middle of the court as well, and as soon as they saw that, they looked to attack.
Yep, you get numbers, you take advantage of it. Ritter does, strains the pair, her first 2 points of the game. 12-9 lead for the Foxes, 35 seconds to go. Brisker brings it up. Pass underneath, an open reverse layup is missed, though, by Camille Fulton. As she missed everything, trying to reset from the left to the right, and Ritter had the rebound. Foxes, let's see if they hold for 1. Schwartzman's going to drive the right blocks. She draws the foul on the way there before the shot.
And on the other end, it's another open missed layup for Penn Hills. That was a great pass by Sledge inside, finding Chavis, and just could not hit the layup. And that's kind of been
she
the
reset.
story.
I thought she just went up and maybe drew the foul from that left side. She tried to come underneath and missed with the reverse. 15 seconds. Claudia Guerreri on the near side. Claire Fenton will reset with Guerreri against the zone. Right wing. Jess Paper with it with 4 seconds. Near side, Claudia Guerreri. 3 on the way. That is way too strong. And the rebound comes into the hands of Schwartzman, but the time runs out in quarter number 1. After 1 from Fox Chapel High School, the homestanding Foxes lead Penn Hills by a score of 12-9. We'll take a break. You are watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017, sponsored by Carlow University. Coverage is right here in the Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveYou.
Carlow University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Second quarter begins with Penn Hills in possession of the basketball. They trail 12-9. Fox Chapel High School alongside Josh Rowntree and Bob Orkwis. Chelsea Rowntree is running the controls behind the camera tonight on her video stream. Penn Hills working against the zone. 2-3 zone for Fox Chapel. Near side 3, Brisker fires and hits. Adia Brisker ties the game at 12.
5 points now for her. You know, Bobby, to me, the big story was rebounding in that first quarter. I had it at 12-6 in favor of Fox Chapel. A lot of offensive boards, second chance opportunities, and they cleaned up well on the defensive side, but here's a turnover.
Loose ball turnover. Brisker goes coast to coast, misses. And Berdelski has her 4th rebound for the Foxes, and she is fouled underneath.
That's the 4th turnover by Fox Chapel so far. They've been a bit careless with the basketball to this point. It's led to runouts on the other end, too, as that will go against Camille Fulton. Curious to see what adjustments maybe were made by both teams. I think, quite simply, I don't know if it's an adjustment thing as much as it is finishing. Don't turn the ball over.
For Penn Hills.
And for Penn Hills, it's make the layups.
Penn Hills has had, you mentioned it in the first quarter, a lot of good looks. They just haven't had shots fall. Good pass, and this one falls. Left-handed layup near side, first 2 of the night for Christina Berdelski.
Yeah, good job getting the ball to her on the block. Got it to her in good position, and Berdelski goes up with that left-handed finishes. That's what Fox Chapel needs more of, I think, instead of settling for tough threes.
Brisker drives, dishes to Deshea Chavis. Now works it back out towards half court. Behind the back, dribbled by Sledge. Near side, good pass, but losing the basketball, creating the turnover was Brisker. Picked up on the near line by Gabby Guerreri.
I think they said that she was out of bounds.
She tried to toe the line,
yeah.
And I think that if that is the call, it might have been the correct call.
So far, I've been impressed with Sledge, and talk about this sort of lineage now of terrific basketball players on this girls basketball team at Penn Hills. I think Sledge could potentially be the next. She has that kind of skill set this early on.
5'8" as a freshman, you're right.
I think
she'll get bigger, stronger, and absolutely more diversified. Shot is missed. Berdelski with another rebound for the Foxes. Up into the forecourt comes Gabby Guerreri. Sarah Shearer, she's been hot from that near wing. Right wing to Gabby Guerreri for the Foxes. She'll drive on the baseline. Good find. It is a great pass for an easy two from Meg Friday.
Yeah, drew the defender, working that baseline, and right wide open on that left block.
Could be a 2-on-1 for the Indians. Now make it 2-on-2. Short jumper up and in from the near side. First two of the night for Delaney Carpenter. Full timeout requested by Robert Cash. He's not happy. It's Fox Chapel 16 and Penn Hills 14. When the dribble drive is done, it's such a thing of beauty. It's kind of a lost art.
That first step on the blow-by, and that's what I've been really impressed with. You know, we talked about it at the one end with Guerreri and then at the other end Sledge. That blow-by, that quick move to go right by a defender and then dish that ball off. You're right, Bobby. When it's executed well, it is one of the nicest. It's like the pick and roll too. When it works, it's like poetry in motion out there, and that's exactly what you saw right there. The nice little dish drawing the defenders, and coaches love that too, don't they? Coaches absolutely love
no question.
When there's execution.
And when
of
they see
the
that
plays.
on the film study, they'll point it out. Absolutely,
no doubt.
Both of these teams 2-3 in their play so far. Overall, 0-1 section records here in 6A Section 2. 50.6 points a game for Fox Chapel. They allow 47.2. 46.2 a game for the Indians. They allow 48.4. Sure, that 46.2 number may be a little higher. Robertson, who played, she was injured with that dislocated knee against Norwin. Robertson was the leading scorer in 3 of the 4 games that she played in this year for Penn Hills. And then DJ Diamond J. Whittington out with a preseason ACL injury. Good drive by Sheriff. That's not a pass, but it works to the hands of Berdelski, who misses, and tie up on the rebound as Jalen Golden was tied up underneath, and Fox Chapel has the arrow.
And again, the inside presence of Fox Chapel has really helped them. It's something that they really lacked last year, was inside depth, and it looks like they've been able to sort of fill in quite nicely what they did not have a year ago, and using some young players to do it.
Good entry pass and a spin and a turn and a shot. Rims around and out. Rebounded by Carpenter off the miss from Friday.
Yeah, 4th board for Carpenter so far. She's been active.
2 points to go with those 4 rebounds. Also has a steal. Delaney Carpenter, the 5'10 freshman center. Brisker splits the double team, breaks a triple team, and then can't score it on the left side. Rebound up and in, however. There is the freshman Carpenter.
Carpenter's only going to get better too. A freshman, as you mentioned, 5'10", good presence inside, cleaning up boards quite well. 5 rebounds now, 4 points, and following up what should have been another make on a good blow by and a somewhat easy layup they couldn't hit on.
Guerreri on the right wing will reset on the near side. That is Claudia. Back to Gabby, back to Claudia, who launches and drains a tray. Claudia has 6 now, her second tray of the game.
There is no fear of stepping out and shooting the basketball. The Guerreris both, and Shearer in there as well. They'll take them.
Looks like they're green lighted from our perspective. That jumper's missed from the far side, and a good defensive rebound. Oh, it's turned over, and a driving layup off the turnover is up and in for Camille Fulton. Good rebound by Berdelski, but she just turned it over as she was falling out of bounds.
I know it's early in the game, but maybe you call a timeout in that situation. Try to not turn the ball over.
Guerreri, Claudia, misses a 3. I got to put a comma in there, don't I? with the rebound on her way up into the forecourt. Adia Brisker is fouled.
That's Star Wars time, so you're talking like Yoda. That's no problem.
I did earlier in the week view the new Star Wars, The Last Jedi. You didn't see it yet?
I did.
Okay.
I saw it last weekend.
Okay, if you're watching,
no spoilers.
I'll try not to spoil it for you. I did enjoy it, though.
Yeah, as did I.
Brisker on the near side. No spoiler, Yoda does have an appearance in the movie.
He does.
Trying to work. It is Sledge. Sledge has her pocket picked. To the floor is Claudia Guerreri, and then Jen O'Shea on the bench gets a timeout for Fox Chapel.
And that time they use the timeout instead of what we saw before, throwing the basketball away. That's where Sledge, though, needs to learn. You cannot dribble into the defenders when it's not there. Twice in a row, dribbled right into the defender in front of her and was trapped in the corner.
Let me ask you this, Josh, and Don Rebel and I have had this conversation on air several times, many times actually. I'm not a fan, just get your perspective. Ball was on the near side in the forecourt right in front of us. The timeout was taken by the coach opposite side. I'm not a fan of the coaches being able to call that timeout.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think sometimes you have to let the players, be the decision makers out there. I mean, I understand why they have that rule, particularly at this level. But you see that
at this level is a good point.
I mean,
but that said, a good timeout by Jen O'Shea.
Yeah, absolutely, well taken, and they'll definitely take this possession here, and instead of turning the ball over.
Shearer three, a little bit short on the rebound, on the run. Deshea Chavis splits the D on the way to the hoop. She is hacked in the act, and Deshea Chavis, the 5-foot junior, will shoot two. Gabby Guerreri is called with her third personal.
I like this Chavis. She's 5 foot, but plays with a lot of speed, good size, momentum to the hoop.
She's spunky, is she not?
Absolutely. She is very active, very physical, and that time you see goes coast to coast, and they have that as a third foul on Gabby Guerreri. So that's a big one.
I like those energy-type players. Those are my favorite players to watch. Splitting the pair, first point of the night for Deshea Chavis. That ties the game at 19.
6 fouls on Penn Hills, 5 the other way.
Good pass, down low, high-low game, but off the mark as Ellie Schwartzman tried to get it to Meg Friday. It was deflected, though, by Penn Hills, and the Foxes will inbound baseline left. That's a good entry pass to Schwartzman, or check it Friday at 5'11".
Yeah.
The junior. Alyssa Sledge.
That's 2 on Sledge. Now 2 on Sledge, 2 on Dunson. It's bonus time.
Friday, first shot, no good. Meg Friday, 5'11" junior, 7.4 points a game. She leads the Foxes, 8.4 rebounds per contest. Second opportunity, that is a bit strong, so she misses both. Rebounded by Brisker for the Indians. There's Brisker with a crossover at the top of the key. Gets the return pass from Sledge. Fox Chapel is back. They've kind of extended the zone, so the two guards are out, kind of playing man-to-man, depending on which side the ball is. Right baseline drive, but a block. The shot by Jalen Golden is blocked and picked up by Ellie Schwartzman. Nice job in the defensive end by the 5'10" freshman, Schwartzman.
Excellent defense for a young player in Schwartzman. Getting the hands up, kept her spot too.
Shearer near side three, rims around, Schwartzman tips, controlled by Jalen Golden. Golden's identical twin sister, Jasmine, is on this team. Splitting the defense is the freshman, Sledge, with her fourth point of the contest. Indians have the lead back at 21-19.
She loves that little Euro hop, doesn't she? The little 1-2 step down the right side of the lane, and has missed a couple times earlier. Now they get a turnover.
Yeah, high pass is deflected up the floor with speed. Brisker with a turnover. Nice pass, but getting back to defend defensively is Schwartzman. Going back to the previous possession where Schwartzman made the block and got the rebound, the key there, kept their feet on the floor. You don't always see that from a freshman.
Right. Well, when you're 5'10" and a player that's, coming in against you is 5'7", you have a little wiggle room there to maybe keep your feet planted.
Either that has been coached into her or she has instincts. Let's split that 50-50. Under 2 to go before halftime, 21-19 lead. The Indians have the ball, and they lead here on the road at Fox Chapel. Dunson back in the game with her 2 personals. Near side 3, Brisker's open, but Brisker airballs it, and Penn Hills tries to get the rebound, but they step out of bounds. It'll be Fox Chapel basketball with 1:46 to go in quarter number 2. Penn Hills will back off. They've had pressure times in this game, and Claire Fenton, the 5'3" sophomore, brings it out, bounce pass deflected, but Grace Ritter near the right elbow has it. Back to Fenton. She tries to go underneath the Schwartzman, and Dunson has the turnover. Dunson up the floor, hesitation move to the right corner, and that cost. The pass was not controlled cleanly by Deshea Chavis, and she steps on the near sideline, and the Indians turn it over.
Yeah, both teams a bit careless with the basketball. I have 8 turnovers now on Fox Chapel, 5 here in the corner, 6 total on Penn Hills, 3 each quarter.
Paper with it between the rings. Claudia Guerreri back near side to Jess Paper, the 5'8" junior. Goes to the free throw line near the left elbow. Grace Ritter goes up with the jumper. Ritter is fouled. She'll shoot a pair. That personal is charged against
Nia Moore.
Nia Moore, her first. Grace Ritter to the free throw line. She's 2 of 2 on the game from there. The 5'8" junior make it 3 of 3. All 3 of her points coming from the charity stripe.
Smooth there, huh?
Big time. All 4 of her points have been no doubters. We're tied at 21. As we approach a minute to go before the half. Penn Hills into the forecourt. Right, Dunson on the near side. Gets around Claudia Guerreri. Now backs it back out. Good job to keep the dribble. Finds an open teammate. That could have been a travel, but Jalen Golden drives right baseline. Can't get the short jumper to go. Claudia Guerreri rebounds for the Foxes. 45 seconds to go, second quarter. Fox Chapel gets it to Claudia Guerreri. Entry pass to Schwartzman was double teamed. Corralled by Paper on the baseline. It is a good pass opposite side, but Claire Fenton misses the jumper. Paper with a rebound on the backside. She puts it up and in for her first 2 on the offensive rebound.
And the offensive rebounding for Fox Chapel has been key. It was initially a great pass, but the shot missed. Paper right there to clean it up. Goes back up through traffic and knocks it down. That's a really good play inside by Jess Paper.
Fox Chapel back on top by a pair with 10 seconds to drive, and a big-time foul. Left blocks knocked to the floor, but springing right back up, Adia Brisker. Brisker will shoot 2. Claudia Guerreri picks up her first personal. Gabby, her younger sister's on the bench, so I can just call her Guerreri without the comma. First one up and in, 6 points for Brisker. That's a game high, 6 for Claudia Guerreri, 6 for Sarah Shearer on the Fox Chapel side, and Brisker trying to break that tie as substitutions coming late. Podolski is in for Fox Chapel. Brisker does. She has a pair of free throws, a 3 and a 2. 23 apiece. Here's Claudia Guerrero around the screen coming left. She'll drive in, loses the ball, picked up. Buzzer beater blocked by Nia Moore as Paper tried to throw up their desperation heave, and we played 16 minutes. We have decided nothing. It was a 12-9 lead after 1 for Fox Chapel. At the half, Fox Chapel 23, Penn Hills 23. We'll take a break and back when we come back with some halftime numbers. Our halftime scoring recap will be brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine. You're watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017. It's sponsored by Carlow University. Coverage is right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Recordtan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com. Triblive has a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment, lifestyles, opinion, weather, photo galleries, video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. Triblive.com. Triblive.com. News and more 24/7.
For a weekly in-depth look at boys and girls high school basketball in the district, log on to the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Join experts Chris Harlan, Sean Myers, and James Dotson for coaches' interviews and the latest hoops news around the WPIAL. Oh, and Don Rebel is back on the show as well. That's the WPIAL Roundball Report, Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. While the weather outside may be frightful, the winter high school sports is delightful. That's here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Log on to the Trib, hssn.triblive.com for weekly audio and video coverage of boys and girls high school basketball, WPIAL wrestling, and PIHL high school hockey. The warmth and the glow of the winter sports season may be heard daily on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
And we welcome you back to Fox Chapel High School. Fortunately, at least in my opinion, the weather outside not frightful. Well, that's about to change. We celebrated the official start of winter yesterday, and we've got temperatures in the 50s here this evening. So enjoy it while it lasts, because it may be the last time we see that for a while. Alongside Josh Rowntree, I'm Bob Orkwis. Chelsea Rowntree is running the controls behind the camera tonight on the Triblive video stream brought to you, girls basketball and all high school sports, brought to you by our friends at Carlow University, proud sponsor of girls high school sports here in the Triblive Sports Network. Kind of an even game so far, and the score bears that out, Josh, 23-23 between Penn Hills and Fox Chapel at the half.
Yeah, absolutely. Fox Chapel with 12 in the first, 11 in the second, and Penn Hills 9 in the first. Better quarter in period number 2. They had 14 there, and I thought they were able to limit the turnovers a little bit. They limited the rebounding margin as well. It was after one, 12-6 in favor of Fox Chapel. Second quarter, 7-6 in favor of Fox Chapel. So they did not give them as many second chance opportunities, and some of those layups they missed early on, they started to make. They were able to knock down some transition buckets, some open layups that they had missed in the first 8 minutes. They were able to eventually knock down. As we look at the scoring here at the break, and for Penn Hills, they're led by Adia Brisker. She has 7 points. Ariana Dunson has 5, 4 each for Alyssa Sledge and Delaney Carpenter, 2 for Camille Fulton, and 1 for Deshea Chavis. And again, 12 rebounds by my count in the first half for Penn Hills. On the other side, Fox Chapel, they are led right now with a pair of 6-point performances by Claudia Guerreri and Sarah Shearer. All 6 of those points for both players on 2 3-pointers each. So that's how they've been getting their points. 4 points for Grace Ritter, all from the free throw line. And then 2 apiece for Jess Paper, Christina Burdelsky, and Meg Friday. 1 point for Claire Fenton. 19 rebounds for them at the break. On Penn Hill's side, their leader in rebounds by my count, Delaney Carpenter, with 5. On the other side, 6 for Burdelsky so far, and a lot of those coming on the offensive side. She's been able to keep a lot of plays alive on the offensive side with second chance rebounds. Turnovers, Fox Chapel 8, Penn Hills with 6. Not terrible for either team, but maybe something particularly for Fox Chapel to look to clean up here in this second half.
Your first half scoring recap sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, powering the Stay Strong and Play On program with the Triblive High School Sports Network. You touched upon it with Claudia Guerreri and Shearer. That was a big key. 12 of the 23 points for Fox Chapel coming from beyond the arc, and it looks like those two, maybe Gabby Guerrero as well, Josh, with green lights that just fire from distance at will.
Yeah. They were doing it more early, and I think it was probably the nature of the defense they were seeing. I thought, though, in that second half, Fox Chapel, and now they ended up not scoring as many points, but I thought the offense looked a little bit better because they weren't just settling for long shots. They were working the ball inside, and I think that's going to be beneficial to them in the second half. Even though they weren't able to get it going, Penn Hills was able to move out a little bit on the perimeter, take some of those outside shots away, and they started dishing the ball, did Fox Chapel, inside and getting some open looks, some easy layups on the inside. We saw Friday get a pass on the left block, and there was nobody within 5 feet of her when she went up with the shot because the defense was so drawn off. I think more of that probably for Jen O'Shea and Fox Chapel in the second half is what they're going to be looking for.
In case you're on board the Triblive High School Sports Network tonight and you're getting a sense of deja vu, don't worry. Josh and I are here for a doubleheader. The Fox Chapel girls and the Penn Hills girls. In the opener, the Fox Chapel boys will play host to the Penn Hills boys in the nightcap for Fox Chapel High School. Whether you're live, whether you're archived, we appreciate your patronage of the Triblive High School Sports Network. At the half, in this girls 6A Section 2 matchup, Fox Chapel 23, Penn Hills 23. We'll step aside, back with the third quarter. Right after this, you're watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017. It's sponsored by Carlow University, and it's right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Check out the new Triblive High School Sports Network on social media this season. For breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more, follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Triblive HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Triblive HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlow University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Hi, this is Josh Rowntree with the new Triblive High School Sports Network's PIHL Power Play Show. This winter, myself and the coach, Kevin Zilmansky, will bring you the most comprehensive coverage of high school hockey in Western PA. Hey, Kevin, any suggestions on how we can pull it off?
We're not goons. We're not bullies. No matter what people say or do, we have to be ourselves.
Okay. Well, word is that you've been letting success go to your head a bit.
Hey, what I do is none of your business. Is that clear?
This should be a fun season. It's the PIHL Power Play Show every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Contrary to the dire attitude by Kevin Zilmansky, what we do here at the Triblive Sports Network is everyone's business. And we thank you for your support, not only when MSA went under, but for continuing to support us as our new parent company, the Trib Live, and the Tribune Review has taken over ownership. Tell them you appreciate it. Let them know. Drop them a line. With Josh Rowntree, Bob Orkwis, I mentioned that. I thought I saw Desiree Oliver earlier. I believe Big John Tate is also here, the former head coach of Penn Hills.
I saw Coach Tate down there.
Well, it's kind of hard to miss.
He is.
He's a big human specimen.
He is, and he has a big beard to go with it.
Good guy.
Cannot help you. He absolutely is.
Turned this program around. It was
did he.
Really good in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s under Bill Lind for Penn Hills. They won 7 straight Quad A championships.
Unthinkable, isn't it?
Paul Seneca in the mid-90s took them to a championship, and then it went dry until Coach Tate took it over, and now Coach Cash is trying to keep it where Coach Tate left it. Coach Tate, I believe, moved to Virginia, to coach and work. There's a drive and a block to start the third quarter. Good defense by Meg Friday. Here come the Foxes, moving left to right. On the near side, right side, that's Shearer. So same side of the court, but opposite side. It was left when she was playing to her left. Here comes Gabby Guerrero, drive, a beauty off the window for her first 2 points of the game.
Nice little curl to the hoop there, down that right side of the lane. Little scoop off the window. That's nice from Guerrero.
I just noticed on the auxiliary board in front of the scorer's table, they put the names of the players up who scored.
So you can't miss it.
I won 16 points, 16 minutes with missing that. So that's a big aid for me. A shot missed by Penn Hills and another rebound for Meg Friday. So there it is, big, bright, and bold across the way for me. So thank you, Fox Chapel
If you're
High
not
School.
sure who scored the bucket,
Mike O'Brien. Yeah,
it will help you
I have
out.
a new tool. There is Gabby Guerreri. Near side 3, Shearer. That's a bit strong. Rebound deflected. Trying to track it down off the foot of Christina Brudelski, and it's Penn Hills basketball.
Man, nice play there by Sledge in the corner. That ball was going out of bounds and was able to knock it down off.
Although when the Guerreri sisters are in, I can hedge my bets and just say Guerreri.
Yeah, you're going to be right 40%
of the time, right? I'll take those odds. Right side, Penn Hills, down by 2. Good entry pass, trying to back in. Delaney Carpenter, inside, outside, quick ball movement. Brisker will drive. Brisker is blocked by Meg Friday, and Friday comes up with the ball off the court. Good defense again in this third quarter by Friday.
Friday's interior defense has been the difference early in this quarter. A couple block shots in there.
And picking up both rebounds off the blocks. There's a shot missed by Brudelski. Rebounded, pulled down by Carpenter for the Indians. And there's a drive. Shot is not going to go. Brisker, though, she's unafraid to drive, this time on the right blocks. She draws the foul, and she will shoot 2 as Sarah Shearer is charged with her second personal.
And again, Brisker on the take, right down the lane. No hesitation, just rushes ahead. Shearer hit with her second personal.
No fear. Brisker is 3 of 3 on this game from the foul line, 8 points to lead all scorers. She'll get the second.
Penn Hills keeps doing this, and they make their foul shots. They're going to have a really good shot at winning this game as it's now tied.
25 apiece. 9 now for Adia Brisker, the junior, one of the leaders on this team, with Dunson, with Whittington out for the year, and Robertson out for a good portion of the season after dislocating her knee. It's been pretty close. Fox Chapel, I believe, 4 points, maybe their biggest lead. Penn Hills, their biggest lead, 2, I think. Claudia Guerreri against that pressure. Entry pass, left blocks to Friday, turnaround. No good. Friday taps the rebound into her bench, and it is Penn Hills basketball.
You mentioned Robert Cash. We talked about John Tate. He was an assistant under John for 4 years. He also has done extensive work with the Western PA Bruins of the AAU scene, and that's the premier.
Good team.
Yeah, that's the premier AAU squad.
Did I understate that a little bit?
They're quite good.
Premier is better than me saying they're a good team, and a lot of those players come here. Penn Hills on the baseline. Brisker has the rebound, but she saves it right into the hands of Gabby Guerreri, and the basketball belongs to Fox Chapel. Entry pass, another good entry pass, and it is Meg Friday who is fouled. Meg Friday will go to the foul line right to shoot a pair.
I've been really impressed with Meg Friday, particularly in this second half. Defensive end, we've seen it, but right there, squaring up on the block, making herself big, as they say, getting the basketball turning and drawing the foul. It's great work.
2 possessions in a row. She missed the previous one on the turnaround.
Right.
She drew the foul this time, makes the first. Back on top by a point, Fox Chapel at 26-25. Almost 3 minutes into quarter number 3. Second also good. First free throws of the night. Friday missed a pair earlier. She has 4 points on the game for Fox Chapel. Brisker will walk it up over half court for the Indians. Leaves it to Sledge. Sledge on the left side, drives around Claudia Guerreri, pulls it back out to Dunson. Ariana Dunson gives it to Sledge, who resets the offense. Senior Guerreri, freshman Sledge. And a timeout for Penn Hills, a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick break as well. 4:45 to go, third quarter. Fox Chapel 27, Penn Hills 25. You're watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017. Coverage sponsored by Carlow University right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
AstroTurf, a pioneer in sports surfacing, proudly supports high school athletics. Visit one of their 280 fields in the tri-state area to see their cutting-edge technology. AstroTurf's focus on R&D enables them to provide innovative surfaces that protect athletes and stand the test of time. AstroTurf now propels performance with iconic turf fields and legendary Record-Tan tracks. They manufacture, build, and maintain a full range of turf and track systems for total quality control. Learn more at astroturf.com.
After the timeout, Penn Hill still has the basketball. I wonder if Coach Cash Josh was trying to reset some offensive strategy and talking about not allowing those clean entry passes defensively. Almost a steal for the Foxes. But Dunson does come up with the basketball for Penn Hills. And she almost turns it over, but does find Sledge. Near side to Brisker. Brisker called for traveling on the left wing.
That is probably the most frustrating thing as a coach. If you're Robert Cash, you take a timeout, you know you're getting something set up here, and it just blows up in your face immediately. They nearly turn the ball over twice, then they do turn it over a third time, and that was not a good half-court offensive set.
A sloppy 15 seconds. Air ball 3 for Sarah Shearer from the opposite side. And it'll be a turnover if the ball goes out of bounds. The ball over to Penn Hills, not a turnover, a miss. That was a long 3 from front of her own bench. 27-25 lead. Fox Chapel halfway through the third quarter. Penn Hills has the basketball, forecourt left. It will be Sledge. They run a little bit of a weave to Dunson. Dunson on the right wing, good ball movement. Right corner 3 for Carpenter's off the mark, and the rebound bounces in the hands of Gabby Guerreri, and then running into her and being charged with a personal foul, Elisa Sledge, her third.
These last 2 offensive sets have maybe been the worst of the night from Penn Hills. The first, they nearly turn it over twice, then they do turn it over a third time, and then that possession there, the ball was almost stolen on the outside, and then you have a player that's primarily a down-low presence shooting a 3 in the corner. That's going to go in not even probably 1% of the time.
Resetting, firing, rimming out the 3, Scherer. Good rebound to keep possession by Burdelski.
Burdelski again on the board, 7 rebounds, and a lot of them offensive.
Ball was knocked out of bounds. It'll be Fox Chapel possession with the 3 personal fouls. Elisa Sledge goes to the bench. She's replaced by Desea Chavis. Right side 3 for Scherer. That's a bit short. Rebound was in the hands of Meg Friday, but it ends up with Dunson, who looks to run. Dunson does run, flies to the hoop, misses the layup, and a defensive rebound controlled by Friday.
I like the take, though, by Dunson. She made one like that earlier, just could not finish it that time down the court.
Great speed for Dunson, the junior at 5'7". That's a good shot. You'll take that anytime, even though it didn't go. 2-point lead for the Foxes. They have possession. Claudia Guerreri to Shearer. Left elbow, Burdelski. That was in traffic, and it's a turnover. Dunson outlets to Brisker. Brisker, opposite side to Shea. Chavis drains the tray for the Indians. Her first tray, her 4th point, and the Indians back on top, 28-27.
And that's thanks to Brisker. Drew the D. 2 players come to her, 2 white jerseys swarm her, and then she finds the open player on the outside and Chavis to knock down the tray.
Near side 3 for the answer by Claudia Guerreri. No good. Long rebound by Chavis. Did you say there was a foul?
Yeah, Chavis got smacked in the head coming down with that basketball.
On the defensive rebound. Guessing a little ugly sweater theme here at Fox Chapel. I see a few of those.
Could be.
Or they're just wearing ugly sweaters.
'Tis the season.
Indeed it is. Although we're in the short sleeves. That's a nice runner by Brisker off the window. She's at the double figures now with 11.
That is smooth. Just high off the glass and in.
Meg Friday dribbles, resets, 1-on-4, fires and misses. Good job to track down her rebound, but she falls out of bounds, and the ball goes over possession to Penn Hills as Sledge will come back in for the Indians. Jess Paper and Claire Fenton check in for Fox Chapel.
This is great work by Penn Hills on their interior defense. Friday had a couple of presence type of moves earlier that really kind of established herself. And now all of a sudden they're taking Friday away and they're making them go elsewhere. They're not knocking down the threes like they did earlier. And you look at it, 4 points so far in the quarter for this Fox Chapel team. They just have not done enough offensively.
This is me telling you they collapsed on her that last possession.
They are.
If I was Ben Roethlisberger, I'd be saying huddle up. But they collapsed on her that last possession, and that's a good point you made. Right baseline drive and a foul. Dunson, good job. She ran into 3 white jerseys. Let's see who's charged with a personal foul for Fox Chapel. It is charged against Christina Burdelski, her second.
Will be a shooting foul.
Like Penn Hills, they are not hesitant at all to go to the basket via the baseline or the drive. There's my favorite sweater right there of the night, the Santa Claus sweater. That is not an ugly sweater.
That is nice.
'Tis the season for that as well.
You're right, though, Bobby. The no hesitation mentality of Penn Hills has really been impressive in this game.
Dunson splits the pair. Claudia Guerreri with the rebound after the miss. Inside out, Friday, Shearer, three. Yes! That is worked to perfection. Shearer has 9, all from beyond the arc. Two-pointer?
That was Paper that hit it.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Jess Paper,
22, you're right. My apologies to Jess Paper.
Here
Scratch
she is again.
Shearer, 22 and 21 in my scorecard. I saw you flash the 2. I'm like, I thought she was beyond the arc.
Yes,
but
she was.
It was a double 2.
A good take, too, by Jess Paper.
Yeah, and a good inside-outside pass there, too, on that possession for the Foxes. They have the ball back. Fox Chapel, they lead by 1. Entry pass, good corral. Turning and scoring. Ellie Schwartzman and the Foxes back on top at 32-31.
You know, it was not a great pass from Meg Friday going block to block, and that was just a great individual play by Schwartzman to corral that ball, turn around to her left, do a little half spin move, and go up and score.
Yeah, she did a good job to turn and track that down. Entry pass. Good job to split traffic, but the hook shot by Brisker is no good. She might have got some contact. And Friday with the rebound, 7 seconds. Fox's left baseline, that is Jess Paper. Good entry pass. Turning shot by Friday, no good. The rebound goes out of bounds as the horn sounds. We've been tight all the way through. Expect the fourth quarter to be the same. After 3, Fox Chapel 32, Penn Hills 31. Back with the fourth quarter. After this, you're watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017. Coverage is sponsored by Carlow University. It's right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlow University is a proud sponsor of the Triblive High School Sports Network.
With Josh Rowntree, Bob Orkwis, thanks to Carlow University. My partner, Josh, is the voice of Carlow University Athletics. We appreciate their patronage of the Triblive High School Sports Network. So either my addition is wrong or my math is wrong. Could be either. Listen, 1 point for Fox Chapel.
Try to get that squared away.
Foxes have the ball and the lead to start the fourth quarter. Nice drive, right side. Gabby Guerreri, though, swatted by Adia Brisker. Dunson into the forecourt for Penn Hills. Oh, I got it. Claire Fenton. Dunson gets a field goal. She has 8 now for the Indians, and Penn Hills back on top. Early fourth at 33-32.
Well, the defense really took over in that third quarter. Only 17 total points, 9 for Fox Chapel.
Good entry pass, but Schwartzman on the near blocks. Doesn't put the ball on the floor, which you don't want to do in traffic. She's called for traveling.
Fox Chapel just 1 turnover in that third quarter, too, for Penn Hills. So a lot of defense, but not really sloppy play. It was just good defense, just getting hands up, blocking shots.
They matched that total, 56 seconds here in the fourth with that travel. But you're right, I think it was better defense by both teams. Penn Hills on the opposite side will work the offense and dribbling to her left to Chavis, fires left to Sledge, back to Chavis, right corner. That is Jalen Golden in traffic, ball deflected, and Gabby Guerreri comes up with the turnover for the Foxes. Outlets to Jess Paper, who drives and passes to Friday. Left blocks to right blocks, deflected out of bounds. Good backside defense by Chavis, and it'll be Fox Chapel inbounding baseline right.
Fox Chapel's had some success with these set plays on the inbound from the baseline. We'll see what Jen O'Shea has drawn up here.
They set a double screen with Friday and Schwartzman, and then they get to the ball inside and up and in. Meg Friday, one of the screeners, and she is fouled.
Meg Friday making my half prediction there look pretty good because she was able to fight to get that ball and then had to go through contact to score it as well. Really good take. There's that foul on Chavis, her second.
You love it when you mention something and it happens.
Makes me look way smarter than I actually am.
Yeah, because we're wrong most of the time,
Yep.
aren't we? 7 now as the conventional three-point play is made by Friday. Fox is back up by 2 at 35-33.
Friday now 7.7 rebounds. She had 5 rebounds in that third quarter alone. She was everywhere for this Fox Chapel team defensively.
Penn Hills working between the rings with Sledge, guarded by Paper. Gets a pick or a screen, fires to the right corner. Dunson's three is off the mark. Backside rebound by Chavis. And Chavis had her shot blocked by Schwartzman. Chavis got the rebound of the block and then knocked out of bounds by the Foxes. Near side inbound for Penn Hills.
Gabby Guerreri coming and getting Chavis and knocking that ball out of bounds. Good hustle by Guerreri. Only a freshman, Gabby Guerreri. She's going to be a pretty good player.
Three-pointer right corner is airballed by Delaney Carpenter. She missed badly her
second.
2 opportunities from there.
Yeah, that is just not her shot, and I don't know why Penn Hills is settling for that.
Paper had the rebound, and the three-pointer from the near corner for Gabby Guerreri is blocked, deflected out of bounds by Elisa Sledge, and the Foxes win bound baseline right. Another good entry pass and an easy 2 again for Meg Friday.
Where's the defense by Penn Hills on these entries? You have to get a body and hands in front of Friday. You cannot allow her to cleanly collect the basketball because when you do in that spot, it's basically an open layup.
Got to deny, you're absolutely right. None of that happened. 4-point lead for the Foxes at 37-33. 2:45 into the fourth quarter. Sledge, right side. Dunson drives, dishes. Traveling is called against Jalen Golden, the freshman. Substitutions coming in either way. Claudia Guerreri back into the lineup for the Foxes, and Brisker, Adia Brisker, is in for Penn Hills. The leaders coming back in for both of these schools. I don't mean that point-wise. I mean that team-wise.
Yep.
Although, no, it isn't the case in either way. Penn Hills, or Fox Chapel, patient.
Yeah, this is a bit of a burn offense here, but they throw it away.
Short pass, and Paper's pass was stolen. Brisker will drive. Brisker will be fouled. Good drive by Adia Brisker to go coast to coast, and the foul charged against Claudia Guerreri, her second.
I'm just not a fan of changing your offense with this much time left. There's too much time to go with this delay, burn look. If you get an open shot, take the shot. There's time to make up for it if it doesn't go in, but don't pull yourself into a turnover and a run out the other way.
Because it has worked.
Right.
To get you that lead, correct?
Right, exactly. Brisker can shoot from the line, can't she? 5 for 5. Oh, man.
Jinx.
I jinxed her.
Announcers jinx. Been there. Rebounded by Friday. 12 for Brisker. Almost creates a steal at half court, but Claudia Guerreri pulls it in, and that does create a steal as coming out, flashing out with Chavis, deflected it, and Claire Fenton cannot save it.
And now you see Penn Hills, they've extended that defense out to the half court, and they're going to try to make Fox Chapel drive around them. And that's something I think Penn Hills maybe should have done earlier, is extend that out to a half court trap system, make these Penn Hills players dribble the ball around them. You go full court, or half court I should say, with just a full-on onslaught of whoever has the basketball.
Jumper from 12 from the right side, no good by Sledge. Rebound on the floor and picked up by Jess Paper for the Foxes. Gets it into the forecourt to Gabby Guerreri, who's checked back in. Good crossover by the freshman. Gets it to the senior sister, Claudia. That ball, good move by Paper in front of her own bench. Left elbow, Friday, near side. Claudia Guerreri misses the tray. Good rebound in traffic by Chavis. Outlet, drive, up and in and off the rim, no good for Brisker, but she'll go back to the free throw line. I like the singleness of purpose, if you will, by Brisker. She goes straight to the iron. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, 1-on-2, 1-on-3, if she has space, she's going to take it. And that's the thing. When you're defending a player like Brisker, you can't, no matter how many players you have back, if she's 1-on-5 and she has 4 feet of separation, she's going to drive that ball in and try to score on you.
She's speedy enough to make it happen. She's got 13 as she makes the first. That foul, by the way, was charged against Paper, her first. Second opportunity foul line left for Brisker to make it a 1-point game, and she does. She's got 14. 37-36. Been tight all the way. 4 points either way has been the biggest lead, and back and forth we've gone.
We have, and I think maybe that was to be expected. We mentioned before we went on the air, we were talking. I said I think this is a game that's probably played in the high 30s. Now, we may get out of that with 3:49 left, but I think certainly mid-40s is going to be what the final score will look like. And, right now it's been great defense, good rebounding, some missed opportunities for sure, and I think that's maybe to be expected with some of the talent that's not on the floor. I think if you're Penn Hills, you have to be really impressed with what you've seen tonight from this team without Diamond J. Whittington.
Starting 4 freshmen.
Without Toyana Robinson. Yeah. Last year, you come into this season losing one of the best players in a very long history of Penn Hills basketball, one of the best players Penn Hills has ever seen, in Desiree Oliver. So I think if you're Robert Cash, you have to be extremely impressed. No matter what happens in the next 3 minutes and 49 seconds, you have to be pretty happy, I think, with what you've seen from your team on the road here in a pretty pivotal Friday night game.
Elsewhere tonight in Section 2 here in the 6A classification, one other girls game, Latrobe and Norwin. Those two teams, along with Hempfield, are 1-0, so that'll break up a little bit. Penn Trafford, Fox Chapel, and Penn Hills are all 0-1. That'll break up a little bit with the winner of this game. And again, Latrobe and Norwin, the only other section game going on tonight. There's a drive on the left side by Gabby Guerreri, but she's fouled on the floor. Foul charged against Dunson. Dunson has done a good job. She had those 2 fouls, Josh, early in the first quarter. That's just her third.
And that's a better job there of defending it. They have been working that inbounds play to Friday. She's been getting open layups. Finally, they collapse on her and they get a tie-up.
With the freshman Sledge.
Right, and they make the adjustment.
And the tie-up and the arrow favors the Indians. Chance to regain the lead as we approach 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. At the logo, there is Sledge, guarded by Claudia Guerreri. Steal by Gabby Guerreri on the right side. Slides into the forecourt, stops. Flips it between the rings. Claudia Guerreri, guarded by Dunson. Right side to Shearer. Shearer's pass deflected by Chavis, but she gets it back. Penn Hills has picked up the pressure on defense. Claudia Guerreri, good job to find space. She'll drive. She'll fire with her offhand, her right hand. She missed it. Rebounded by Brisker, 2-on-1, near side to Dunson. Great pass, great finish. Lead for the Indians at 38-37.
What a pass in transition. Brisker just going with that left hand, a little dish over, and finds Dunson. She has 10 points, and Penn Hills back on top. Good little run here for the Indians.
Statistically now for Brisker on the play, an R and an A. Has a rebound and an assist. The finish for Dunson, her 10th point. Fox Chapel takes a timeout, 2:40 to go. In the fourth quarter, it's 38-37 lead for Penn Hills here on the road.
It's crunch time now. These two teams looking for their first section win, and I think that's added importance here. We talked about it at the start of the broadcast tonight. These games, they're early in the year. We haven't hit Christmas yet, and yes, the intensity maybe of a playoff push is not quite there, but they count the same. These games are just as meaningful to that section standings as the time when these two teams meet up on January 26th.
You made that point earlier. Those are the games where you're looking back in February and said,
exactly.
If we would have took care of business there, right?
Penn Hills cannot win this game. We had a lead with 2:40 left on the road at Fox Chapel. We would have held on and won that game. Those are the what-ifs that you play, and the big goal now is let's not have to play that what-if game. Let's win these games when we have the opportunity. And for Fox Chapel, too, they've already lost one really tight game in this section. They lost 46-44 to Hempfield. So they don't want to make this 2 for 2 in section games with tight losses on their home court.
Plus, with 6 teams in the section, this is 20% of your section games already.
Exactly.
So,
not a lot of opportunities.
Steal by Dunson. Driving layup, too strong, however. And Brodowski flies back to get the rebound for the Foxes. That was a big miss by Ariana Dunson.
That is the 5th turnover of the quarter for Fox Chapel. Way too careless with the basketball.
Claudia Guerreri near half court with Gabby and Claudia. Good tie-up by Sledge, and the arrow favors Fox Chapel. Far sideline inbound. Fox Chapel flips it to Meg Friday near the logo and on the logo. It's Gabby Guerreri. Nice to put the ball in the hands of the freshman. Near side. Brodowski back to Claudia, or Gabby, excuse me. Claudia is actually underneath. That pass is deflected, but a foul is going to be charged against Elisa Sledge. That'll be her 4th. She was kind of hidden, too. It's Claudia Guerreri's 5'3". She was kind of hidden behind one of the post defenders for Penn Hills. I didn't see her there. That's kind of a different look for Foxes.
It's like a small running back kind of hiding behind the offensive line, isn't it? Great pass.
Good pass. Gabby Guerreri, opposite side. Meg Friday is fouled. She will shoot 2.
Great pass by Guerreri. Little bounce pass in motion right to Friday. That is terrific. Terrific look right there.
Brisker is charged with her 2nd personal. 2 free throws, 2 big free throws for Meg Friday. Foul line right. She ties the game at 38. She's got 10 points now for the Foxes.
They've shot the ball pretty well at the line, but these are the important ones here.
That one will rattle through. 11, the first Fox in double figures. And with under 2 to go, Fox Chapel back on top by a point at 39-38. Brisker on the right side comes out to Sledge. Sledge guarded by Claudia Guerreri. And a foul charged against Claudia. She doesn't necessarily agree with it, but that'll be her 3rd personal. Ellie Schwartzman, the freshman, comes back in. Big post presence. Out goes Shearer. Schwartzman has made her presence felt in this game, especially defensively with a nice sequence. Couple blocks, couple rebounds, 3 rebounds unofficially. There's another whistle and an offensive foul charge, a moving pick against Brisker, I think. No, Brisker was there, but the foul goes against Chavis.
That is the 3rd on Chavis.
Into the forecourt, Gabby Guerreri with speed to break the pressure. Under 90 seconds to go, Fox is leading by 1. They're in the forecourt right. Claudia Guerreri is fouled near half court. That'll be 4 on Dunson.
So now you have Dunson and Sledge, 2 starters, each with 4 fouls. Chavis has 3. Now you know who to go after here if you are Fox Chapel with this 1-point game. You can attack some players here.
1-1 for Claudia Guerreri. Back rims it. Strong rebound by Brisker. And she'll go. She'll drive and score down the left side. She drew some harm with Schwartzman, and then Adia Brisker is down on the floor. You don't want to see that if you're Penn Hills.
Yeah, no question.
With Robertson and Whittington out.
Just kind of went down awkwardly, maybe just sort of jammed the right knee, but
I thought maybe Charlie Horse type situation
could
running
be
into Schwartzman.
You know, after they lost, in their last game, Toyona Robinson now all of a sudden a player that has 16 points, and Brisker, you don't want to see her go too.
Well, she is one of the leaders too as a returning player for Penn Hills, and they've already had injury problems as we talked about.
Yeah.
Basket good though, so a 40-39 lead for Penn Hills with 1:14 to go, and the Indians took the timeout.
For Fox Chapel, you're looking, I think, to get the ball inside out. You want to get the ball in an open layup type of situation. So that means you have to drive. We have not seen a lot of drive and kick from Fox Chapel. We've seen it a lot the other way.
Early first quarter, it was outside. It's been inside since then.
Right.
For Fox
I think
Chapel,
you try to work it inside. If it's not there, have Friday or whoever has it on the block. You also have Schwartzman down there as well. kick that ball out, try to get an open look from the edge. But I think the first things first, you got to feed that ball inside, try to get an open bucket.
No pressure applied by the Indians. Fox Chapel to the forecourt right. Burdelski will work it back out to Guerreri. That is Claudia with it. Now back to Gabby. Right side. Burdelski holding it high, under a minute to go. Down to 50 seconds. Fox Chapel down by a point. It is Claudia Guerreri between the rings to Gabby. Back to Claudia on the left side. Guarded by Dunson. Breaks her down. Can't get there. Good help defense by Sledge. Claudia Guerreri needs help. Finds it in Burdelski. Friday at the left elbow. She's double teamed. Got to be careful. Jen O'Shea sees it and takes a timeout with 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
And now with 31 seconds, you start thinking if you're Fox Chapel, are we able to hold here for, maybe a shot late? I don't, particularly with the way they've been able to offensive rebound, I don't like holding for the last shot. I try to maybe initiate 10, 15 seconds into this with about half the time left, maybe 15 seconds you go. Because then if you get an offensive rebound, you can either call a timeout and set something else up, or you're going to have an opportunity maybe to have Penn Hills off balance a bit, kick it out, maybe get an open shot there. So I'm not saying hold for 25 seconds here if I'm Jen O'Shea. I'm saying hold for, let's say, 10, maybe 15 seconds, then initiate.
I don't disagree with that strategy. If it's a tie game, it's a different story.
Sure.
But down a point, you're right. You want to leave yourself at least a little bit of wiggle room.
And, if you go and you miss it with 10 seconds left on the clock and Penn Hills goes down the court or whatever the case is, or you make it with 10 seconds left, I should say, and Penn Hills goes down the court and hits a buzzer beater, so be it. But I think with the way that Fox Chapel has been hitting the offensive glass in this game, you play that to your advantage here, and you maybe give your bigs down low and Friday or Schwartzman a chance to collect a rebound and get an easy layup with even less time left.
Their baseline inbound game has been good.
It's been good. Penn Hills made the adjustment last time.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do here.
They have three players down low. Couple screens set. Open, Claudia Guerreri on the wing. Good reset. 15-footer by Papers, no good. Rebound was in the hands temporarily Friday, but coming away with it is Adia Brisker, and then she is fouled on the near side. That is only 16 fouls against the Foxes.
It is, and that's key because it's only it's still going to be an inbound situation. Next foul will take it to the one-on-one bonus. But Guerreri got the inbound. There was nobody around her. I thought she was going to shoot.
I thought so as well.
She passed it up, and she went to Paper, who's, Paper's a pretty good player and had a three earlier. But I think if you're Guerreri, you got to either drive and try to shoot that or take the shot from the outside. If you're that wide open, they ended up with a worse shot.
That could have been your opportunity, what you're talking about, your drive and a dish.
Right, exactly. Missed it.
Pressure by the Foxes, flipped up by the Indians to Carpenter. Back to Brisker.
Got to foul Carpenter there.
Dunson with it in front of her own bench, bounces it back out. Brisker, and Brisker is fouled.
He found the wrong person.
Burdelski, you're right. Carpenter was the player. You're going to try to make her turn it over or foul her in the backcourt.
Yeah, and the bench from Fox Chapel was going crazy because they couldn't believe that Carpenter got the basketball and she was just dribbling it around and nobody was able to get there to foul her in time. And then they let so much time go down. I mean, way too much time went off the clock there as Paper comes back in. And
about 20 seconds now.
You had a golden opportunity to foul a player that is not a great shooter.
Brisker has 16. That's a game high. She gets a 1-and-1. She makes the first and gets the bonus and makes that. It'll be only a chance for the Foxes to tie. The flush is good. 17 now for Adia Brisker.
Here's the big one, particularly with the way Fox Chapel can shoot from the outside. Both teams with one timeout left, too.
Makes the bonus. Timeout, Penn Hills. With 11 and a half seconds to go. A 3-point lead for the Indians at 42-39.
That's a couple of big free throws there by Brisker. 2 for 2 from the line in the second quarter, 2 for 2 from the line in the third quarter. Missed the one, but in this quarter, 5 of 6 at the line. Brisker with 18 points in the game to go with 7 rebounds.
She's been really consistent.
Yeah, she has, and they've needed that. They've needed somebody to step up with DJ Whittington out, with Toyana Robinson out. They needed somebody to come and fill that scoring void, and Brisker has done just that. A year after Brisker scored 4.8 points per game last year, she comes out with 18 in a huge game here tonight. 11.5 left. Now they have to play defense.
Fourth time on the season, Josh, that Brisker has gone into double figures. Had 14 against Char Valley, 14 against Mount Lebanon. Coming off a game yesterday against Alderdice where she had 27. So She has definitely picked up her play in her junior year, and with the opportunities there with Robertson being recently injured and Whittington being injured in the offseason, in the preseason.
The one thing that I don't like about that timeout is now you have to go the full length of the court and get a three. I would rather inbound the ball, get it over half court, then call the timeout.
Well, Penn Hills took the timeout.
Oh, it was Penn Hills?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Fox Chapel that took it.
Because I agree with that. 10 seconds. Pressure in the backcourt. Gabby Guerrero breaks
timeout.
it. All deflected, almost stolen by Brisker. Now you get a chance to call a timeout if you're Jen O'Shea.
Right there, I would have taken the timeout. I think she will, and that's what she's going to do. As soon as the ball gets over half court, I'm saying take a timeout. That pass was nearly intercepted.
Yeah,
that would have been the game right there. I think the odds of going the length of the court and then dishing it out for a three, they're not very good. I just don't like that play. I think you're better off setting up offense. Now you have 6 seconds on the clock. You take the timeout when you get over the court. You probably have almost a full second more on the clock. So, I don't know what was said in that last timeout, but I think the strategy there is let's get the ball over half court, then take the timeout, and let's set
Yeah, but they
something
should have
up.
took it. You're right, because it was almost intercepted.
Right.
Then in that situation, you get a chance to take a breath and set up a play where if you're going the length of the court, you're almost in desperation mode sometimes.
Right, exactly. Both teams out of timeouts here, by the way.
The Foxes need a 3 to tie.
Well, and Shearer has a pair, but those were back in the first quarter. Guerreri has a pair, but that was in the first half. In the second half, Paper has a 3, but nobody else has knocked down a shot from beyond the arc. But, Bobby, in the first 5 minutes, it looked like it was going to be a lot of outside shots going in for this Fox Chapel team. That's certainly quieted down quite a bit.
Indeed it has. They're going to need one now unless they can get it inside. They've done that well, especially with Friday with a team-high 11 points to get the hoop and draw. If I'm Penn Hills, I'm saying
don't
get
foul.
it inside.
Yeah.
Back off.
Yeah, don't foul.
Just give her the 2.
Yeah, I think you have to go for the 3 here. I don't think there's enough time to get the 2 and then get a stop and get the ball back.
Baseline in front of our bench to inbound for Paper. Paper will lob it underneath the Friday in traffic. Lays it up and in. Fox Chapel fans wanted a foul, none to be had. As the horn sounds, Friday ends with 13, and the Foxes end a point short. On the road, Penn Hills. In a tight one, they win. Your final score, the Penn Hills Indians 42. Fox Chapel Foxes 41. Back to talk about it with our post-game show right after this. You've been watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017, sponsored by Carlow University. Coverage is right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Check out the new Triblive High School Sports Network on social media this season. For breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more, follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Triblive HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Triblive HSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Triblive High School Sports Network.
Triblive has a little something for everyone. Sports from high school to the pros. News from across the street and around the world. Arts and entertainment. Lifestyles. Opinion. Weather. Photo galleries. Video. You can even find your next job, house, and car. So look alive, Pittsburgh, and get the news you want and information you need all in one place. Triblive.com. Triblive.com. News and more 24/7.
For a weekly in-depth look at boys and girls high school basketball in the district, log on to the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Triblive High School Sports Network. Join experts Chris Harlan, Sean Myers, and James Dotson for coaches' interviews and the latest hoops news around the WPIAL. Oh, and Don Rebel is back on the show as well. That's the WPIAL Roundball Report, Wednesday at 6 p.m. here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
Back one final time at Fox Chapel High School. Girls 6A Section 2 matchup was tight throughout. It finishes tight. Penn Hills on the road. They get their first section win of the year, a 42-41 victory over Fox Chapel here this evening.
Well, and, the first thing I want to talk about, Bobby, is that last play. We talked about it before during the timeout that if you get the ball inside, you have to get the and one, and it was close, and I was surprised Penn Hills played as tight defensively as they did, and they nearly got burned for it. But I just don't think you can get that shot off there with enough time. They're 5.9 on the clock.
But they were very – we talked about it right before the inbound, and Penn Hills needed to be careful because they were very close to fouling there, which is what you do not want to happen.
Right, and it was amazing to me that Penn Hills would even get anywhere
And I think
close.
they threw it inside out of desperation, too, because Penn Hills
Right.
took the perimeter away. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree, but if you're Friday, you have to be cognizant enough. We have 6 seconds. I don't have to score. Let the defense collapse on me and then kick the ball out for an open shot. Or you lean into somebody. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So just not well executed down the stretch by Fox Chapel, and ends up costing them. And what a huge win on the other side for this Penn Hills team. Without Toyana Robinson, without DJ Whittington, they come on the road, get their first section win of the year. And what an effort it was by Adia Brisker as well. 18.7 rebounds. She was huge for them.
Indeed, she was one of 3 players in double figures in the game, 2 of those for the Indians. And we mentioned it because of injuries. Penn Hills and Robert Cash had to start 4 freshmen. And we were impressed with a couple of them. Sledge played well. Carpenter at spurts played well. But Brisker definitely was the key with her 18 points. And she did the job, including hitting 2 big free throws at the end to make it a 3-point game. And it ends up a 1-point win for Penn Hills. We have the post-game scoring recap.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. We'll run it down for Penn Hills in the win. Adia Brisker, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Ariana Dunson with 10 points. 4 apiece for Deshea Chavis, Delaney Carpenter, and Alyssa Sledge. And 2 points for Camille Fulton. They had 23 rebounds and 11 turnovers, did the Indians. On the other side for Fox Chapel in the loss, Meg Friday finished with 13 points, 9 in that final quarter. 6 for Claudia Guerreri and Sarah Shearer. 5 for Jess Paper, 4 for Grace Ritter. And then 2 for Gabby Guerreri, 2 for Christina Verdelski, 2 for Ellie Schwartzman, 1 for Claire Fenton. 29 rebounds, 14 turnovers. That was key, too. That third quarter, Fox Chapel had 1 turnover. In the fourth quarter, they had 5 turnovers down the stretch there. A lot of empty possessions for the Foxes late in that basketball game, and it ended up burning them.
Leads to their 2-point advantage in quarter number 4, leads to their 1-point advantage on the final scoreboard. For Penn Hills, 3-3 now, 2 straight wins. Actually, for the Indians, they've won 4 of their last 5 to even their overall record of 3-3. They're 1-0 in the section. They have a tournament at their place over the weekend called Jam Fest. They'll play Winchester Thurston tomorrow. For Fox Chapel, they've now lost 3 straight for Jen O'Shea, and they head to some tournament play according to this schedule. Not sure if there's anything scheduled in between. A week from today, where they play for against Shaler in the Shaler tournament. Not in the Shaler tournament, they play Cardinal War North Catholic. Thanks to Coach O'Shea and Mike O'Brien, everyone here at Fox Chapel for their help. Thanks to Penn Hills as well. Thanks to my partner tonight, Josh Rowntree. His wife, Chelsea, is running the controls. She's kept us on the air as far as the video stream here this evening as well. Thanks most of all to everyone at home for listening. Don't go away. Come right back. Penn Hills boys, Fox Chapel boys. The second game over a doubleheader on the video stream from Fox Chapel High School. Your final score, 42-41, Penn Hills defeats Fox Chapel. The Foxes are now 2-4 and 0-2. I'm Bob Orkwis saying good night and thank you for watching WPIAL Girls Basketball 2017. Coverage sponsored by Carlow University right here on the Triblive High School Sports Network.
You have been listening to WPIAL Basketball 2017-2018 here on the Triblive High School Sports Network and sponsored by UPMC Sports Medicine, by AstroTurf, by Carlow University, proud sponsor of the 2018 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs, and by Trib Total Media. You can follow the 2017-2018 WPIAL boys and girls basketball season every day by logging on to tribhssn.triblive.com. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Triblive High School Sports Network.